Fresh off of earlier this week, accurately diagnosing Elon Musk as I believe, a parasitic illegal immigrant, Steve Bannon is back with more points that are at least in some ways weirdly accurate for Steve Bannon. And so he wants to talk, it's kind of continuing on with his feud about Elon Musk, but he wants to talk about the oligarchs, which I'm glad. Bernie Sanders has been talking about it a lot. A lot of people are Googling what's an oligarchy. Well, that's what we have, so you should probably learn about it. Well, Bannon doesn't think that these oligarchs are as trustworthy as many Republicans seem to think. Take a look.
You can tell President Trump doesn't totally trust the oligarchs. And by the way, those oligarchs, and people in CNN are understanding that, just like they've turned on you now, right? They've abandoned the progressive left. They will abandon us in the same thing. They seek power. Right now, their feeling is they can see the math, and they see that we have a building coalition. So they're with us, but only temporarily.
Okay, and so apparently he's not just talking about Elon Musk, although he is definitely talking about Elon Musk. There you could perhaps throw like a Jeff Bezos, a Mark Zuckerberg, and many of the others. Basically every oligarch, particularly tech oligarch, has lined up behind Donald Trump, which I think, image-wise should put the lie to the idea that this is some sort of anti-establishment party or something. It's populist. No, not if every rich person in America supports it. But anyway, he doesn't believe that it's a long-term play. He thinks that Elon Musk and the others will turn on MAGA like they turned on the progressives. Francesca, you remember when all of the richest people in America supported progressives, right? Remember that when you got all those checks and all that support and advertising and everything? Anyway, so that's obviously BS. But do you think that there's something to what he said, or is this just him trying to get some power relative to Elon Musk with Trump?
Look, I'm of two minds. Number one, I think Bannon's a total opportunist, and he's just angry that it's not him inside the castle, it's Elon Musk. So Bannon is like, well, let's get back to our roots, just like real racism and like, because he's super on board with all of the mass deportations. He's super on board with the stochastic terrorism that this administration's engenders. He loves that kind of stuff, but he's just mad that he's not one of the oligarchs, right? But if he was, he'd be all good. I mean, you don't see Stephen Miller out there getting mad because Stephen Miller's inside making policy and Bannon isn't. So I think that has to be said. That being said, I do think not the MAGA base. The MAGA base is a cult. The MAGA base will never turn on Trump, but the broad okay, I'm gonna vote for Trump over Kamala Harris because I don't like the way the economy is going. That voter is definitely a voter that will turn on Trump. And I do think that voter is gettable, but not by, again, the Bannon right, but by progressives, by a broad coalition, by what we were talking about with the director of Move On, right? By something that feels visionary, that feels like it centers their economic realities, that has a counter narrative to the oligarchy, that actually talks about the problems that everyone is facing. Whether it's housing, whether it's food, whether it's education, whatever it is, whether it's not feeling like you're gonna ever own a house in your lifetime, all of these things. So like that is what we have to do. So I don't know, John, I don't know about you, but I'm less obsessed about like the MAGA base will turn. They won't. They really won't turn on him. It's just the general voters that could.
Yeah, and it doesn't, like at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. The MAGA base is not enough to win a national election on.
Yeah,
we know that.
Exactly.
Even it's the independents he got, and even that was the narrowest possible victory. 250,000 votes across 3 swing states, and it would have gone the other way. So we don't have to get those people. And I agree with Francesca. A lot of them we never will. Maybe a few, maybe 1 in 10, 1 in 20. I don't know. But I wouldn't waste all of our effort on that when the independents, I think, will be much easier to peel off. Those, Trump AOC voters, for instance, that we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Now, before we close things out, I do want to just mention what effect these oligarchs are having on Trump. Well, according to Emerson, at least, and these numbers are higher than some I've seen, Trump's presidential approval rating earlier in February was at 48%. We're gonna dive into other polls in the aftermath, but DOGE is at 41%.
Ooh.
And that's, again, that's the initial views. A lot of people don't even know what it's doing yet. Oh, and also important breaking news as of last night, at least. Musk is in charge of DOGE, apparently. So we'd been told earlier that day that he wasn't in charge. They asked the spokesperson, so who is in charge? And she wouldn't tell us, which was cool for this radically transparent organization. And now Trump says, no, Elon Musk is actually in charge of it.
Oh,
The hell
cool.
are they
It's
doing
just
over
it's just kind of like stick your finger in the air, like, he's in charge today. No, he's not. Like, that's all they're doing. Of course he's in charge. You know what, John, what they're doing, we all know what they're doing is they're too afraid to make it look like Trump is not in control or in charge.
Yeah.
And we know he's not.
Yes.
Elon is.
Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.